Listen, when I first got into coaching, one of the things that really surprised me was the fact that realtors were almost universally missing the boat on how to do um, not even high quality follow-up with clients, but like decent, like passable quality for clients. Um, they were confused about how to do this. Like they just didn't get how we would follow up with clients at a level. Or if they did get how we'd follow up with clients at a level, they, for whatever reason, flat out just couldn't pull it off, right? Couldn't pull up a follow-up system with clients. So I want to kind of unpack that a little bit today. I'm gonna talk about that big disconnect between what clients actually want and expect from follow-up during a transaction and what they actually wind up getting, right? Um, Now, I'm going to do this video on the part of the follow-up that involves a transaction, a deal, a buyer or a seller. In other videos, I'm going to cover what it looks like to follow back up with clients in your tribe that are outside of an actual transaction. But this video is going to be about the transaction itself and leading up to it. And by the way, they're actually really different. Follow up during a deal and follow up outside of a deal, but not for the ways that you're probably thinking. I'll talk about that as we go. But kind of here's the deal, right? Um, the problem with how we follow up from a kind of getting it wrong perspective is that we tend to think that we have to follow up with clients during a transaction just enough not to lose the deal, right? Anyone been there, right? In terms of following back up with clients just enough so that the deal doesn't blow apart, the lender is involved enough and keep them together, and the inspection takes place, and titles getting kind of done on both on for the buy side. But we're doing just enough of that communication, that follow up, whether it's from us or from the title company or from the lender or from the TC company. We're in charge, right? We're the real estate pro. And so it's our job to run communication. And we think that if the follow up is just enough to not have the deal blow up, we're getting it done. Um, why is that the case? Well, the first one's kind of obvious, right? Once you get a deal under contract, it's going to earn you whatever it's going to earn you, right? Um, but there's no way during that transaction to have it actually pay you more money, right? Your commission is going to be set in the beginning. You've agreed with the seller or buyer, and that's what the transaction is going to earn you in terms of commission. So the only way to make additional money that year, and likely if you're watching this video, you probably don't intend to just do one sale this year. You probably want to do more. If you're watching this channel, you probably want to do a lot more. And you know that kind of mathematically, you can't get to your goals with just the one deal. And so we get confused about how to do follow up in a world where we do have to sell more than one house. Um, and it's true, right? For sure. What's actually really damaging, though, is it's a very short term. I call it the I'm probably not going to be in business more than just this first year or in a single year mentality versus doing something for the long term. So if we knew it was long term, we'd have a better understanding, a better appreciation for the fact that the follow up needs to be something that is going to help us, not hurt us going forward. The second reason that we do this follow up with clients during the deal that's suboptimal, I'll call it to be friendly, is we've got this thing where we think that we're bothering our clients, right? We don't want to give them too much information. We say stuff like, I don't want to bother them with the little stuff in the deal, thinking that there's some way that a buyer doing a $600,000 transaction two or three times in their lifetime, that stuff in that really rare and big money deal is little stuff, right? We think it's little stuff because we do more than one transaction per year, hopefully a lot more, but they don't, right? So there really is no little stuff in the transaction. So quit saying that. Second reason that people do is they think there's little stuff in the deal. Um, And the third reason is the most important one, and the one that's not is not the most obvious, probably the least obvious in this list of three, is that in terms of follow up and what it's for, we're missing the point, right? Here's what I mean. See, the idea is not just to get this transaction across the finish line, right? Sure, we need to get them in the house or out of the house. That's the commitment, right? Um, but the real goal long term is that one that says again, we're going to be in real estate a while. And if you're going to be in real estate a while and hoping to work with the same clients over and over, and even better, hoping to have those tribe of satisfied clients, really happy clients, um, help us earn more business down the road by not advertising and buying Google AdWords and Zillow and companies that'll take your money. But if we're looking to build it from a tribe experience perspective, we want the people who are in our world to be wowed, like wowed. Like that's really weird that they called me and texted me about that part of our deal. I didn't expect them to follow back up about that title concern, even though it's not a big deal. And I'm glad that they did. That's kind of cool. Right. So the goal is not to just do customer service and client follow-up during the transaction so the client would consider referring you. The goal is to do service at such a high level in terms of the personal touch. So the client couldn't imagine not helping to refer you business going forward. And there's a big difference in that. Our training says that we got to get more business. This video is helping you understand that the real magic in the transaction is to do the transaction so well that it naturally creates other referral business and other opportunities to help clients at a high level. So what are some examples of and I'm not going to line out a giant spreadsheet of touches. I can do more of that later with another video, but I want to just give you a couple things you might just do so you don't need to reinvent the whole wheel on how you do deals, but insert a couple of things that could be wow factors, could be unexpected, and will probably set you apart from the way others are doing this business. So what if you got a seller under contract, right? And it's Tuesday and not really much is going on between today and Friday until the mortgage commitment is due. And you send a text that says, hey, thinking about you today, nothing moved in terms of your transaction. That's on purpose. I'll have news on Friday. Right? So we call that the no news text is I'm texting you or I'm calling you, I'm emailing you to tell you that there's nothing going on. And I was thinking about you and I want you to know that there's nothing to watch out for and I've got it. Unexpected. How about this one? So if you take a buyer out on a Monday, or you took them out on Monday and then Wednesday you're on the computer doing a CMA for somebody else and doing your follow-up back on the clients and you send them a text that says, nothing new came up in your search today. I checked the results and nothing got sent to you. So nothing to watch out for there. But the house that we did look at this weekend that you thought you probably were not going to make an offer on, that house just dropped by $10,000. Let me know if that's important to you. Or how about this? Mr. Seller, wanted to give you a quick text today. As you may have seen, rates dropped today by 25 basis points. And so if you're curious about what that means for our listing strategy and listing and sales strategy going forward, shoot me a quick text. I've got this afternoon to connect. I'd love to give you a little insight about what that may or may not mean for our listing, right? And so here's the deal. What can happen when we do this service at a high level? Well, think about the impact that it would have with your clients if every client came away from a transaction and said, you know what? We really got great service. I got the impression Mickey was busy. I also got the impression that he really cared about us. He sent us text messages when there's nothing going on. He told us about a price drop that we weren't really paying attention to, and we weren't going to buy the house anyway, but he let us know it was still there and we should consider it. We should know about it at least. And the communication was awesome. If you did that with every client and they said things like that, what do you think would happen, right? Do you think you get some referrals that you weren't expecting? Do you think you might get some reviews you weren't asking for? Do you think you would have people sent your way that you didn't actually exactly know where they came from, but they say things like, Mickey, we're in the neighborhood and we sent you a text. We heard you were the expert. when I'm on my game and when my coaching clients are on their game and they're doing things that are certainly they fall outside the realm of just doing a deal and doing this extra follow-up. Those are some of the things that we hear in those experiences, and they create the opportunity for referrals that you weren't expecting. Let's summarize today's quick video. Why do we not follow up, right? The first one's super obvious. We can't just sell one house. And it doesn't make sense sometimes mathematically for us to pour a bunch of energy into a deal that we've already got closed or on its way to closing. Let's just do the work required to get the deal closed, get that client on their way, and keep working to get other business. We get confused that the deal is going to kind of close itself and there's not opportunity in there to wow the client. Second reason is that we sometimes we think that we're bothering our clients, right? Remember, they're going to do a couple, three of these deals, unless they're investors, of course, flipping houses. But a couple, three of these moves is buy, sells, transactions, downsizing, and they're a lifetime, right? The notion that we think a lot of the stuff in a transaction is the little stuff, and we shouldn't bother our clients with it is kind of goofy. Quit saying that. There's no little stuff in a transaction for a buyer or seller when you do it a couple times in their lifetime. And the last one is that we're missing a point, right? We don't understand that the largest opportunity to service clients and to build a business, build a tribe of trusted individuals who trust you, who know you, who like you and trust you almost completely. That's the goal of the business. And when you do that, you've built a business worth owning. So that's the video today. I'd love to see some examples. I didn't spend a lot of time, as I said, in the video outlining a ton of things to do within a transaction that might be wow factor. I gave you a couple, three text messages that could really surprise and delight. I'd love to hear a lot more about what you're doing in your business that really wows and surprises clients kind of above and beyond. It'd be super helpful for not just for me, but maybe some people watching the video. So again, thanks for watching today. Click on a link below if you want some more information about how to get kind of some of the stuff hand delivered to you, kind of hand holding. And if not, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.